Hello, hello, hello. I am Gepwin, and this is Mac Game Review, where I take you through all the things you can play on your Mac or other Apple devices. Today we're looking at an iPad game. This is Knights of the Old Republic. It was originally released by Bioware for the Mac in 2004, on the Xbox a little bit before that, but we don't care about Xbox here at Mac Game Review, do we? This is the iPad version, which was released earlier this year. So let's take a look. I think this is probably one of the best iPad ports I have ever seen. Let's take you through and show you some stuff. So movement is controlled by swiping the screen. It takes a little while to get used to, but after that it is actually very natural, very easy to move around the 3D environment. Very, very easy. And it has my favorite feature ever, which is up in the corner. There's a quick save button, which is just amazing for a game like this on the iPad. The visuals did not suffer much because they're still the same visuals from 2004, which means they work perfect on this screen. And really, this is still one of, if not the best, Star Wars game you can play. Definitely the best Star Wars RPG in my opinion.
How can I help?
I'm going to show you a little bit of dialogue just so you can see another of my favorite features. The dialogue still appears in the same place that it did on the computer, but instead of having to tap the teeny numbers down at the bottom, you have two huge numbers up on the right here that you can easily hit with your thumb. So let's say never mind to you. Everything has been slightly retooled, size increased, made easy to work with your finger. You can go into your equipment screen, just tap anything. Now let us jump into my other game here. Load. I started a game specifically for the YouTube that is at the beginning, so I can show you how some of the content and other fun things work on this device. Loading times are actually very quick, much quicker than I was expecting for an iPad game of this size.
That door is locked. I don't have the codes.
That door is locked.
Switch me to the party leader so you can...
Okay. To switch to the party leader, I just click his portrait. Then I just click the door and hit the unlock symbol at the top. Incredibly easy, very intuitive, works incredibly well with your finger.
These Sith must be the advanced boarding party for the Republic!
Now, this is really the key and why this game holds up so well in this iPad port is the combat. Anyone who's played the original before knows that in this Bioware game, every time you enter combat, it pauses. The game pauses. You can pause and unpause the game with the play button anytime you want during combat. The game can be set to auto-pause at the start of combat, which I highly recommend. And that gives you enough time to use your menus, get through everything. Even though the combat is presented as semi-turn-based real-time, it's turn-based combat, and you can pause anytime you want to give orders, manage your party, make sure everything is working the way you want it to, which is just amazing. Oops, let's see if he's got a sword. He'll do fine with his blaster.
Sure.
It's just amazing to use on the iPad because you'll have enough time to get through the menus. Yeah, I don't want to use the med pack, I didn't take any damage. Gives you more than enough time to get through the menus, find what you want to do, plan out your strategy, get everyone where you want them. Really just, the pausing of the combat makes this game infinitely more playable. It would have been playable with real-time combat, but the ability to pause and give orders makes sure that your touchscreen controls never get in the way. You always have time to do exactly what you want to do and make sure things work out exactly right. Which really is just incredible. This is such a well-done iPad game. This is exactly how iPad ports should work. Fire. The guy was refusing to shoot for some reason. In my playthrough, I have not really encountered any big bugs. I remember one graphical error that I saw a while ago on one of my playthroughs, but nothing game-breaking. The game runs fine. The frame rate stays up somewhere in the 30s, which is really all you can expect from an iPad game. I'm gonna stay with the blaster. Fancy weapons are not excused by a blaster at your side. The only thing that still annoys me is it still uses some old things, like those weird big cutscenes there. Gameplay moments that you can interact with, but that is more because the game is a little bit out of date. Some of its concepts are a teeny bit out of date. Now see here, you hit this little arrow at the bottom, brings up your special panel. Since these guys are all level 1, they don't have that much you can do, but you can choose a basic attack or a power attack. Also, just clicking on the enemy queues up a normal attack, so it's all very, very simple. Very easy. So now I apologize that I've kind of been reviewing the game from the perspective of someone who's played it before, which I think a lot of people have at this point. If you played this game on the computer and you liked it, you're going to play it on the iPad. It's exactly the same game, it's just been made to run very, very well on your iPad. If you have not played this game, why have you not played this game? This is probably the best Star Wars game. It's one of the best Star Wars games you can play. It's a Star Wars game you definitely should play. In the game, you wake up on this ship with no real memories. You kind of know that you got here being recruited into the Republic military and that you're on the ship protecting a Jedi, and that is all you know. You wake up with very few memories. Then later on, you meet the Jedi, discover that you have a shared link, and I am not far enough through in my current game to show you that you do eventually become a Jedi. You get trained, you get to use the Force. Your Force powers play a very nice role in combat, as well as other things. You can use your Force Persuade to get better dialogue options. Just very well presented Force powers, very well presented gameplay, and it's one of the few games that makes you feel like you're a Jedi very well. Also, there's a thing that I won't get to show you quite yet. We might run back into the other save and do that, but you can change your weapons. You can alter your weapons around and change things. Yeah, see, I just got a vibration cell and an adrenaline strength. The adrenal strength is a one-use item that increases your combat efficiency, but the vibration cell is something that you put inside of one of your vibra swords. Yet, I don't know. I think that's enough of the combat for right now. Let's quick save and go back to the other profile to show you a couple of other fun things. Alright, load game. Let's go back to my main game. Show you a couple of interesting things with this game. The way they set it up is just so well done. Only thing I don't like is running around the maps. They do get confusing because the maps are all small instances. Hey, this is one part of the map. It's Upper City South. You go to any of these doors, it takes you to another map. They're all interconnected, but I just personally find that being split up into small levels like this makes it a little hard to navigate. But if you want to return back to your home, you can hit return to hideout to teleport back. It is the only method of fast travel, unfortunately. You can't fast travel to anywhere you've been before other than your main base. Or whatever you're using as a home base. You do get your own ship. In a little while, you get your own ship. There are some very interesting little mini games in between with a turret. You move a turret around to shoot attacking enemy ships. That works very well on the iPad as well. I was expecting that to be a nightmare with the swipe controls, but that worked fine. So let's upgrade a lightsaber. We won't have everything to upgrade it, but I can show you how it works. You have the center crystal, which you get a huge variety of colors, including purple if you're a Mace Windu fan. And then you get these side power crystals that I have none of. But these give you different effects. Stunning blows, make the blade do more damage, etc. And really just customizing your lightsabers like that later in the game gives you so much stuff you can do with the combat. Your other weapons can be upgraded, but it's more of a straight thing. So you just input in these 3 slots. You will find enough of these to upgrade all of your weapons, and then you just assemble and it increases the power, and that is all you can do. You don't really find improved versions of any of these things. You just get all 3 and put them in, and that's it really. Booze. Now, it's not a bad system for customizing your weapons. Your lightsaber gets a huge amount of customization later on with the 2 crystals, the blade. If you're using 2 lightsabers at once, which you can dual wield, let me show you that here. You can go into your menu and dual wield either single-handed swords or pistols. Dual wielding is great. You do have to go into your character skill tree though. Computer use. Let's show you the feats. The feats are the main way you level up. Every time you level up you get to pick a feat which does something different. Like for example, this one lets me use heavier armor. This one gives me the ability to get cybernetic implants that can improve my abilities. This one increases my melee attack. And then for your Jedi, you also get to choose a power, which has some interesting things. You don't get to choose a power every level, it's every 3 levels, I think. I'd have to look that up, but you get to choose your level, and then you have your light and dark adjustment. So depending on whether you're good or bad, if you use powers that are associated with bad people, like Force Choke, then if you're good, it takes away some of the power, which is a very interesting concept. So how you behave to people in the rest of the game affects your Jedi powers. So if you want to be evil, go all evil, get the Force Lightning, and be evil. As far as the game goes, very nice story, very interesting plot. I don't want to spoil it. If you haven't played it before, just play it. There is one major gripe I have with this game, and I'm unfortunately not going to get to show you, but there are the swoop bike races. And the swoop bike races were one of my favorite parts of the previous game, but this game, they just are horrible. If you haven't seen it before, the swoop bike race is something that you can do on every planet you visit. Every single planet you visit during the game has a swoop bike race in it, and it's just a simple time trial. You control your swoop moving left or right, and you try to avoid obstacles, and you try to hit speed up bonuses. It's kind of like playing a game that I forgot the name of. Sorry. It's like playing an old style racing game where you go over the little arrows in the road and it makes you go faster, and you just try to beat a time trial score. One of my favorite things to do in the original computer game, avoid it on the iPad. You have to play it once, and beyond that I wouldn't recommend playing it again, because you swipe from side to side. You swipe and then you swipe, and that moves it back and forth, but you get no fine control at all. No fine control. It's not locked into lanes. Even though there are clearly lanes, they did not lock it into lanes. You get no fine control. You get no big control either. You're stuck somewhere in the middle with this weird, not enough control, but it moves too far anyway. It is very difficult to describe, but it is very frustrating, almost impossible to win. I'd recommend avoiding it. But that is a very small part of the game. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people did like it, so if that was your main reason for liking this game, then don't pick up the iPad version. Other than that, it runs great. The combat works well. The story's still amazing. Still an incredible portrayal of the Star Wars universe. I would definitely recommend picking this up. I did not check the price immediately before. When I picked it up, it was $10. I'm not sure if they've increased or lowered it, but I would assume that it is still $10. I apologize for that. I'll post a link in the description to the Apple Store, and you can check it out yourself. This is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the original Star Wars role-playing game that you need to play. If you have played this before and you loved it, then pick it up. It's $10. You can play one of your favorite games on the iPad wherever you go. And especially if you want a more gaming experience on the iPad. So much is casual and free-to-play stuff, which I don't have a problem with, but sometimes you just want a good RPG. If you have not played this game before and you are at all a Star Wars fan, you need to play this game. You don't have an excuse. You're going to click the link at the bottom of the video. Well, first you're going to like and subscribe to the video. Then you're going to click the link at the bottom to go to the store, and you are going to pick this up. Really, it runs amazingly. It is the best iPad port I've ever seen of a game. Just must buy, honestly. My honest opinion, you must play this game. If you have not played it before, you go buy it right now. That is my recommendation. This has been Mac Game Reviews with Gepwin. I really hope you've enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you are interested in Mac gaming. I'm going to be here a lot, bringing you all your Mac gaming needs with news and reviews, as well as some Let's Plays. So please like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. I am Gepwin, and I will see you soon.